What's up? Here, I'm going to do a comic book introduction of Karmen, created by Guillem March. And I'm going to say this right now. This book is a very enjoyable read. I was actually going to wait till it was Halloween to sort of make this kind of like a Halloween thing type of book reading. But it's not. I'm getting way ahead of myself. Anyway, for those of you that know, I'm a fan of trade paperback, but this is actually a hardcover. And it's not really a thick book, but it's definitely an enjoyable read. And this was actually published by Image, and as you can see, it is Karmen. Now, just to give you a quick skim through, and there you go. All of these are just commentaries of people who already read the book and, their opinion. Now, as you guys know, I would like to show the copyrights and other people that worked on this. So here it is. Everybody gotta get their credit. Now, this book, the best way I could describe this book is it is a mental brain puzzle. And I love that about this book because judging by the look, you're probably thinking like, oh, it has something to do with horror. No. If you had checked out the back of the book, the wording, hopefully you did pause it, you could see that it has more caricature, more substance, more art to really make this book pretty much enjoyable. But I will admit, if you're very strongly opinionated on certain topics or certain beliefs or anything like that, in a realistic sense, you're going to have to, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Not put it aside, but let your brain rest and really read the book, because this is more of a kind of like a detective work where you're trying to figure out what's the end goal of the story, what's the scenario of this character and all these other caricatures. Who is this lady right here? Her name is right up here. This is actually Karmen herself. But when I say who, I mean what is her motive? What is her end game? But as you read this, you start realizing in every single aspect of a person, we have our own interpretation of how we see things in our surrounding. We sort of put ourselves as the main star of the show. How we see things, how we think, how we operate, how we, judge of characters, all those things. It's all based on our own individual mindset of how we view things and interpret them in the best way for us to function. It could be both positive or it could be negative, or it really have a strong impact and aspect of your own personality, of how you view things. And that's one of the beautiful things that make us all different. Now, with that being said, as you keep reading this book, and I'm going to have to admit, the art style, I'm trying not to give, there's a lot in this book that, visually speaking, that I don't want to give away. So I'm just going to show this for different color aspects if you're looking for the individual comic book. But, here, look, I'll just show you this. Now, this is not exactly black and white. This is one of those sketch art. But just looking at this black and white, you can see there's a lot of thought, a lot of personality. Like, you can see just by looking at this, this is something you could probably see when you go to a park. Something you would expect to see, like the movement, how people are, moving around, the actual scenery. It looks so real, and as you read, it feels that way. Now, Guillem, good job. Good job on the art and good job on the story. Now, pretty much the story is Karmen is practically, as you can see, an angel slash Grim Reaper, but she's very true to her job. She is, like, no joke, she is very, when you read this book, you're going to be like, okay, like I mentioned, what is her end game? What is her plot? Who is she really? And she sort of give hints about herself, but at the same time, she's not telling you. She's a mystery. But as you read through the book, you see from her reaction, from her actions, how she communicate, how she do her job, exactly the type of person that she is. She is a very top-notch person. She is a go. What's the best way I'm gonna put this? She's a go to the book type person. She follows the policies exactly how it's meant to be in her own interpretation. Yes, she do have colleagues who sort of sees her as, like, oh wow, she thinks she's all that, but she's doing everything wrong. But it's all based on everybody's interpretation of their job, their quota, and their policy, the rule, all those things. Now, the person that she took under her wing, you could sort of initially you're gonna feel different emotion towards this girl, but as the story keep going, you're and the way you're trying to figure things out about what's going on, your emotion or attachment to all these characters will change based on how you interpret it. Because, like I said, this book is a brain puzzle. You are real seriously trying to piece things together. You basically trying to finish the book till you get to the end, and the book allows you to do that. It's not like you're cheating. I will, and the way the art look, it's just so you just it pulls you in. You feel like you're in this world. You see things not just in a third person perspective, but you see things more as a whole as you're trying to figure out, okay, what's going on? What is this about? What is Karmen really supposed to be doing? This girl that she took under her wing, what is she about? Why is she doing what she did? What she needs to figure out? How is the conclusion going to happen? And overall, without giving any spoilers away, get this book. The ending really was satisfactory. I'm going to say it that way. Now, is there a aha moment in this book? It's more like there's a realization, especially when you put all the puzzles together, and it's like, it makes you feel good, but at the same time, you're glad you didn't completely finish the puzzle. It explains itself. Once you get to the end, it makes perfect sense for the way it did it, and that's, like I said, this book, it makes you feel like you're a detective. It makes you sort of try to connect everything on a human side, but also in a way as if you're a lawyer, or as if you're somebody that's trying to be a friend by looking at both sides of an argument. You're not just trying to be a friend, you just stick to that one side argument, like, yeah, you're completely right, blah, 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 and not ignoring the fact that there's another side to the story. Here, it's like you're being a good friend, listening to your friend, but at the same time, understanding that, hey, there are some, that your friend did some wrong themselves. But overall, I highly recommend this. If they ever were to turn this into a TV series, I would watch that, but I will admit, the way this book was done, it probably would be a one season show, and I would be happy with that. If they were to turn this into a movie, all it needs is one movie. It don't need no sequel or anything. However, Guillem, if you do want to create more, that's up to you. But I'm actually satisfied how this is. However, if you're willing to sort of make more, I really hope you keep the aspects of how you did this book to be continuing on. It's like, even though you sort of figure out the whole shebang about how Karmen operate, how this whole lore is, I hope you're able to pretty much keep the train going, but at the same time, if you feel like this is it, then by all means, I 100% recommend everybody, and I mean everybody, check this out. By all means, you're gonna, if you have certain beliefs or certain thoughts about certain things, by all means, this book is not trying to challenge you, but it's trying to make you see things in a different perspective. It's not trying to start an argument. It's trying to help envelope you into how this world operates. And by all means, if you have the opportunity to get Karmen, get it. Guillem, highly applaud you and the team that worked with you on this. All of you guys, great job. Great job. All right, then. Later.